Corey Silva here on Primetime TV to bring you the Northeast Racers from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Want to apologize for the technical difficulties we have been having today. I don't know what's going on with YouTube and computer, but we are back here in time to bring you today's broadcast, and I'm here with Brandon Kreutz.
Hello, Corey. How are you?
I'm good now that we're about ready to go. Unfortunately, we are cutting really close here, and the grid is already here, so we're going to get going here very shortly to get this race going.
Well, the most important thing you need to know right now, Evan Black and the number 8 car on pole. Outside of him, the number 77 of Kyle Bingham. These guys ready to go green, Corey, and green flag is in the air.
There it is, Evan Black at number 8 gets a nice clean start. Looks like he will be single file for the lead entering turn 1 here.
Evan Black, not normally a face we see up front here in this league, but the Magic Mile maybe gonna give him a hand here tonight.
One thing we do need to let you guys know about the Magic Mile, these are very low-powered cars. These aren't the touring modified cars with the bigger engines. These are smaller cars, so this is almost like a Talladega for these cars.
Yeah, lots of drafting going to be happening tonight. These guys going to get single file, bumper to bumper, Corey, and I wouldn't be surprised towards the end of this thing if someone used that bumper to move someone up out of the groove.
That, and we may see some slingshots. All right, now it's a matter of keeping your pace in the turns and then using that draft down the turn to try to get that run into the next turn. Yeah,
this is a momentum track, Corey, and very important to keep that speed through the corners. Got to be consistent with your throttle.
Right here we have a new name, John Minotto in the 114. He's in the 4th position. Was taking a look on Matthew Kimball. Didn't get anywhere and actually lost a lot of ground, but here we come for the lead. Bump and run, Kyle Bingham looks to that low side all the way on the flat off of turn 2 here. See if he can get a run. He's not going to get a run, and that may give the outside to Matthew Kimball there, entering turns 3.
Evan Black holding a consistent lead, but look at the 50 car on the outside of the 77.
But here we come for the lead. Kyle Bingham, he got a surge through the center of 3 and 4. We're going to be side by side entering turn 1.
It's a drag race down the front straightaway, Corey. Down into turn number 1. Evan Black trying to hold that lead on the outside.
And it looks like a pace lap. We are side by side for the lead, and we were side by side for second. Kyle Bingham to the lead as we come down the back straightaway.
They are side by side for second place now. All of these guys under a blanket, the top 5 is. Look at the 114 car up to 4th place.
We get a far away camera view here. Evan Black very high up the track, a little too high, almost got in the wall here. Now he's going to be battling with John Minotto, I believe, for that 3rd position. Evan Black down to P4, and now he's going to have some more issues with more people trying to get by.
Up to the 3rd. Sorry to cut you off, Corey. Minotto up to the 3rd position now. He is making some serious headway up front.
That he is the 114, the first time we've seen him in this league at all. Here we come. It looks like Evan Black is going to lose another position.
Yeah, they were side by side, but now coming down the front straightaway, that settles out, and now he's side by side with the 5 car.
That he is the 5 car. Brian Hacker, another new name we haven't seen. Here they come. Oh, Hacker almost got into the left rear. Tight racing here in these open wheel modifieds.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is jump someone's wheel. It could lead to a disastrous wreck. Could even end up with a car upside down.
Well, as we said with the drafting, you're literally seeing these guys picking a lane as they go through the turn. You're going to see a side-by-side battle, and the guy behind has to choose which lane am I going to go with.
Evan Black, your former leader, is now stuck on that very high side, Corey. That's not where he wants to be right now.
The pole sitter is now in 7th, and he is going to have Brad Carpenter to his inside coming up pretty soon. We go back in the pack. I believe I almost saw some 3-wide racing going on. We have all the way back in 22nd. Zach Olney in 59 is right now at the tail end of this pack, but we have the 4 car of Jeff Gallup trying to get to the inside of Devin Guy. We got another new name, a lot of new faces in this racing today. Oh, and there's trouble.
Oh, wrecking down on the straightaway, Corey.
I see Brian Bartlett and I see Logan Powers. And Logan Powers, a real-life racer in this race, but not the start he was looking for. So let's go back on primetime replay, see if we can figure out the cause of this. coming off what I believe to be turn 4. All seems to be well, and looks like the two, he may have thought he was, Logan Powers may have thought he was clear to move up to the outside, but he was not quite clear. A little bit of contact made with the 07.
No, Corey, taking another look at it, it was close racing. The 07 came down across his nose. The 07 did come down the track a little bit.
Guess that was just a difference of camera angles there, but regardless, looking at those two cars, they don't look, actually the 07 looks like he has a little bit more damage, but the two may be able to continue pretty decently, I believe.
He's just going to have to watch his temps, Corey.
So that brings us to lap number 9 here, taking number 10 here at Loudon. I don't quite know how tire wear in these things. We have to remember the rules this league does put on into effect with pitting, where we do have one set of tires, 4 individual tires are available to change at any point throughout this race. And you could change 2, you could change 4, you could change 1 at a time, but you only have those 4 to change.
Now, looking at your current leader, Matthew Kimball, there was a lot of action going on up front, Corey, and just 10 laps into this 75-lap race, there was a lot of different things happening up front towards your leaders.
Yeah, there were. Like I said, we had Evan Black, who was a new driver to the well, in the front of these races, anyways, and he's already back to the 7th position, just solely probably because of just getting out of the groove.
Yeah, something that I think that's going to catch these guys' attention tonight is you don't want to get up out of the groove. Once you get up there, these guys with the draft here will just freight train you.
And one thing I do want to bring up here, I wanted to do it in pre-race, but unfortunately we weren't able to have a pre-race due to technical reasons. I do have the points up here, graphic here on the broadcast. You can see David Greenslit, Rowdy David Greenslit in the 20. He is your points leader. He has a 26-point lead behind ahead of Brian Town and Kyle Bingham, who are both tied for 2nd. Ricky Nadeau, Matthew Kimball, Cody LeBlanc, James Curl, who has won both races that he has run in so far in this league, is all the way back in 7th. So Greenslit, as long as he has a decent race, he should be pretty well off with his points position. But one thing to note, where I just talked about James Curl, he is only running in the 13th position right now. So, James Curl has basically led almost every single lap of both races he's run, essentially. But he's back in the 13th position, Brandon. Is that a surprise to you?
Not really. And I'm only saying that because of the type of racetrack that this is. You know, a mile long, there's a lot of different factors from racing on the small half-mile tracks. You know, that makes this place really special for these guys in the modifieds. And, that's one of them right there. A lot of new faces up front, and it takes positions from the guys that are normally up front.
That is true, but we also have to remember there are still 63 laps to go in this race, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him getting up there, whether by strategy or just pure making passes to get back in the fight.
Absolutely. So real quick, folks, we do apologize for the technical issues tonight, but if you please wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, it really helps us out a lot, and we appreciate you fans that come to watch us every week. So these guys about to go green. Corey, take it away.
All right, here we come. The 50 car of Matthew Kimball is the guy in charge of this restart, waiting for that pace car to pull in, and once it does, he can go anytime. There goes the pace car as we wait for for Matthew Kimball. There he goes, Matthew Kimball on the loud pedal. John Bonotto to the outside, got a very good start. They're going to be side by side. Ooh, wheel-to-wheel contact. They are fighting for that position, but Kimball will take it as they enter 1 and 2, but I don't know if... Oh, and there's big trouble here. Evan Black sideways, and the track is entirely blocked here on the back straightaway, on the turns 1 and 2. We have a car upside down, the 43.
Big mess going down into turn number 1.
Almost reminiscent of Dover yesterday to end the Monster Energy Cup race. We have to go back here, obviously, and we'll follow Evan Black here because it looked like he may have been in the cause of that. Back on primetime replay for the second time today with a second caution. Let's try to... Oh, we have to go back just a little bit further than that.
Corey, it was involving the 31 and the 8 to start.
10-4. Let's try to go back to the initial start here. Here we are. We're going to follow Evan Black here as he's looking to the inside. In the blimp cam here, can't quite see who it was. Yes, it was the 31, as you said. A little bit of contact there, and that effectively just blocked the track once everyone just tried getting through.
So big mess, as you said. Car went upside down there. And that was the 43. Unfortunately, that's a product of New Hampshire with these cars as well. You always get at least one of those wrecks here with these lower powered SKs. Yeah,
as we said, this is almost a plate race, a Talladega-esque kind of race for these guys. So tight field, tight racing, it is always going to cause the inevitable accident. So.
Yeah, and I was talking earlier about these open wheel cars, and that's exactly what can happen, folks. A little bit of contact with those open wheels, and just causes huge mayhem.
One thing we didn't get to do is talk about the weather. 75 degrees, overcast skies, as is traditional with this league. So 80-degree track temp. Grip should not be of any concern. We should have readily available grip here on the track. Obviously, New Hampshire being 1.058 miles. In Loudon, New Hampshire. This is the Magic Mile, not Magic Mile 100. It's the Magic Mile 75 for those of us that know how to do math. And let's see if we get the one to go this time by. Let's hope we do.
Yeah, don't let the title deceive you. That'll be fixed later on, and that's another part of our technical issues that we were having before pre-race. We went to go live, and computer decided that it didn't want to work.
And YouTube didn't want to cooperate with the stream link we had up. These are things we will look into, even though I don't quite understand what happened. We will look into it and try to avoid that for next week.
YouTube is fun times.
We live in a world of technology where we live and depend on it, and it works for us very well. But when it doesn't work the way we want it to, it's almost like, what? How dare you?
Essentially.
Like if you ever had that moment when maybe depending where you live, if you live in a winter-esque state where it's snowing and you lose internet access for like a half hour and you just don't know what to do with yourself. Maybe it's just me.
No, I'm with you.
You go out to a restaurant and there's no Wi-Fi. What am I gonna do?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to use my data.
I'm actually gonna have to talk to my family?
Yeah, right?
And there go the lights out on the pace car. So we will try this yet again and hope for better results with actually getting some racing going this time. As we remember, as we do remember from that first start, sorry, was we did see some contact there entering turn one, as it looked like there may have been trying to get a side draft or something, but there was some wheel-to-wheel contact between the 50 and the 114. So we'll see if that happens this time by.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up, Corey. I'll have to keep a close eye on that front row. I don't think the 50 was too happy with the 114 after that contact there, especially this early in the race.
Try to find, we're going to go up high and go to the blimp cam and try to see what we can see here.
So, yeah, these guys getting ready to go, Corey, and waiting for the pace car to pull off. There it goes. Green flag back in the air. These guys see what happens down into turn number one. They're side by side.
And no, they're no longer side by side. Kimball gets the jump, and it looks like Kyle Bingham is going to potentially not quite take that second position. But Odo on the outside gets that run off at two. Is LaFaux going to go three wide? I thought he was going to go three wide. He thinks better of it.
Bingham got a little bit loose off the last corner, but they almost went three wide there coming out of turn number two. Now out of turn number four, they're side by side for second place.
Oh, it looks like the 14 may have tapped the wall there. Just got a little bit too high, I believe, but it doesn't look like of any significance.
I think the only thing that saved him there was those giant Nerf bars on the side, Corey. That could have been really bad.
Yeah, these cars, they are sensitive to damage, but they could take a little bit of a hit. So like you said, I don't think that little bit of tap will cause too much drama for him. But it looks like Kyle Bingham's getting a surge on the outside there off of 4. Is he going to cut down low on the straightaway? Not quite.
Bump and run. Bingham was right on the rear bumper of the 114 there of Minoto, or I botched that name. But
I think you got it right, but here we come. Look, watch out for Brian Hacker here in the number 5 machine. Looks like he's trying to get to the inside of Bingham.
A lot of moving around going on through here. They almost made contact going into turn number 3, Corey.
That they do, but here he comes. Looks like Hacker has almost cleared LaFoe there. Not quite. They're going to be side by side as we go down the front straightaway yet again.
Brian Hacker looking to the inside of the 11, going into the turn number 1 there, coming down the back straightaway now.
But as I mentioned earlier, we were talking about James Curl on the 51 being back there in 13th. He got through that wreck, and he is up to the 6th position now as James Curl, right into the fight of it, as I predicted.
Yeah, James Curl making his way up through the field, Corey. Probably won't be long before he gets up here. The most difficult thing to do here, though, is pass and gain those positions.
That is true. Even though we do have the draft, and it may be easier to pass with the draft, it's not always a solid opportunity because you may get passed right back down the next straightaway.
Or we see what's happening between Brian Hacker and Dan LaFoe is they're still side by side.
And doing that, I mean, it can't be. I mean, that must be frustrating. You have to wonder for both of those guys. It's like, do you really know if you're faster than the guy in front of you?
Yeah, that's a good question. And you know, as these guys start to get frustrated with them being side by side, they'll start to go through their tires a little bit faster because they want to push it more.
Dynamite Dan LaFoe in the 11 car. He is trying to take over that, I believe, to be 3rd position from Kyle Bingham here, but they're side by side, and James Curl's going to take it 3 wide. Oh, no, he thought better of it. A little early in the race for that. Oh, watch LaFoe push it up the track a little bit. That puts Kyle Bingham into the black stuff out there. The black stuff is not where you want to be here. You want to be on that lighter pavement on the inside.
Yeah, and they almost pushed it 3 wide there, Corey. Something that you can do at this track, but it won't last very long with all guys fighting for one lane.
That is very true. One thing to note about the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, it is a very, very low bank track, only about 9 degrees. Whoa! Bingham and LaFoe, sorry, Bingham and who was that? Curl. A little bit of issue there. Oh, caution out.
Caution on the racetrack.
I will finish my sentence at one point, but we have to figure out what's going on here. Where is the caution on the track? It is Ronald Narcombe in the 52.
Yeah, Ronald Narcombe's sideways on the track. There was another car involved in that, and it was this number 60, Corey. He was the start of it, Evan Hollingstorm. Or Hallstorm, sorry.
Oh, I completely missed that accident, unfortunately. Let's try to go back and find it. Yeah, it looks like the 23 and the 60 just didn't really give each other much room on the straightaway, and kind of pushed the 60 into the wall, got him completely out of the, got sideways. I don't really see where the 52 got sideways, but that might have been a separate incident.
No, keep looking, Corey. He ends up getting collected in that mess.
10-4, but we're going to go back up here. We're lap 26. We may see some pit stops, I'm thinking. So let's see here as we pull off. We have a taker. John Minoto in the 114 is going to be the sole guy up front to decide to get some pit service here. Let's go on and see what he does to see if we can figure out. I mean, it might not be easy to tell with these modifieds in their pit stop. We'll see what he does for pit service. Those right sides are up. Is he going to do 2 or is he going to change all 4? I don't know if he's going to do all 4 this early, but he may.
Plenty of time to do all 4 as well, Corey, with this track being a mile.
He's going to. That 114.
Yeah,
he's going to change all 4 tires. He's going to use his 1 set of tires this early, and he's not, I mean, I know you hear sometimes in NASCAR, if you have a scuffed set of tires, you only ran it for 7 laps, you may put it back on later. That is not an option here in iRacing, so this is his set of tires to finish the race with now.
And it's really not that early in the race anymore, Corey. We're getting closer to the halfway point here, and you know, with it only being 75 laps, it may not be a bad idea to go down around this time because you don't know when the next caution is going to fall.
That is true. We are pushing about 47 laps to go here at this juncture, so not quite halfway, but about a third of the way into the race. So yeah, that might not be as bad of a call, or not a bad call, but you know what I mean.
So most likely these guys have just gotten 2 to go here. What's your analysis on this race so far, Corey?
I thought we were going to see a lot more slingshot, a little more with the draft, so I'm actually kind of glad to see it be more of a race than just kind of a slingshot fest. But I'm surprised that the 51 hasn't already been up front, but I'm not surprised that he's in 3rd now. So I'm curious to see how he fares for the remainder of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. This should be a good one. Right up until the end here. We've seen a lot of good racing, and I believe this is the biggest field that we've seen from these guys. So
that is true. In the races we have covered for you, we have not seen more than, I believe, 18, maybe 20, but we had 27 cars take the grid this time by. And the lights are out on the pace car, so we will go green here on lap 30 as we come by. We're already on the 12th lap of caution. English, Corey.
English is hard, but these guys are getting doubled up here for the restart. And Matthew Kimball going to once again lead him to the green, but a different runner on the outside of him this time.
Dan LaFoe, we saw him have a couple, he did not run last week. He was actually on vacation. I'm friends with Dan LaFoe on Facebook. He had went to the Coke 600, and he was at Dover yesterday for the race. 2 back-to-back races. Lucky man he is, but he's back in the seat, looking to try to get a good restart here and take the lead here at New Hampshire.
Evan Hallstorm took it to the garage. He is done for the night.
Unfortunate for him, but here we come. The pace car soon taking that left-hand turn onto the pit lane. There it goes. We wait for Kimball to go. There he goes. LaFoe did not get a good jump there. Kimball takes the whole shot there, if you will, and already pulls out by about 3/10 here entering turn 1.
These guys entering turn number 1 side by side for that 2nd position. They got all stacked up there. Now all of them are under a blanket.
James Curl back in 13th, taking position number 2, or he tries to anyways, as we enter turn 3. James Curl, he wanted us to come up with a nickname for him. I don't quite have one, so if anybody in chat has a nickname for James Curl, let him know, and let us know, because he wants one. They come off turn 4, side by side at the stripe. Give it to, I don't know. But as we enter turn number 1, still side by side, it looks like 51 may be surging here and may be able to clear him off too.
So now down the back, straight away, Dan LaFoe.
Perhaps got in the wall, but it might have been a connection issue. But it looks like regardless, that's going to allow Curl to take the sole possession of 2nd position.
Don't look now. You got 77 and 33 gaining quick on these guys behind them.
They're side by side, and they have Brian Hacker, who is in that position of, do I go 3 wide or who do I help? He's going to choose to go to the inside and perhaps get to the inside of Bingham, who is getting passed by the 33 of Perkins.
Yeah, and
caution yet again.
Flag is on the racetrack once again.
Byron Bartlett, he's slow off of turn 2, so I'm going to have to imagine that he was involved. Let's go back here and try to figure that out. Byron Bartlett as the 114 of Minotto, who got those fresh tires and straight into the left rear. Not much interpretation for that. He just completely got in the left rear, and the 43, I believe it's the 2nd time he's been upside down today.
Yeah, it's a tough break for him, and talk about cars taking a beating. Yeah, 2nd time he's been upside down just in this race.
It looks like it just may have been, you have to remember, the 114 did not, well, he did change his 4 tires that run, so maybe perhaps might have been a lack of patience on his end, but obviously the 07 got the worst end of that deal.
So Logan Power is going to park it for the night as well. He took it back to his hauler, and they're out of here, Corey.
And Brandon, you have a little backstory on Logan Powers. How about you tell the fans about that?
Just a little bit of design work here and there. Starting to become a common theme for me now as my company starts to grow, and it's pretty good so far, I'd have to say.
Good to hear. You did actually paint a car for him, a real-life car, which was a really nice job. So congrats on that opportunity.
Well, it wasn't the car; it was his hero cards that I designed, and they turned out pretty good, I think.
10-4. So while we are under caution yet again, we're going to break away, do a quick commercial break. So we will be right back with you with the action on Primetime TV. Clear.
Hi guys, I'm Scott Speed, driver of this amazing Volkswagen Beetle GRC car. I got good news for the iRacing fam. We got this coming in. I'm currently working on it myself personally to make sure that it is as accurate as possible. With the addition of dirt and now this mean car, it is gonna be so fun. And it's gonna be available free to all the iRacing members. Personally, I can't wait to get out there and race you guys on it.
And we're back here as we take one to go. Perfect timing on my part. Matthew Kimball, who has so far led in this race, 31 of the 36 laps, will be again in that prime position to take the position on this restart.
Look once again to his outside, though, Corey. Another new driver is restarting on the front row.
That is true. John Perkins, have yet to see him in this league, have yet to see him race, but he is been in the top 5 for the majority of this race. So let's see if he can get a good restart and perhaps make a move here on Kimball.
Yeah, so these guys ready to get going once again. Just going into turn number 3. Pace car will make that hard left turn out of turn 4. And we will wait for Matthew Kimball to get on the loud pedal. Here we go. Pace car is off and stacking up. He's back on the gas. Green flag back in the air.
Kimball not wasting any time. Perhaps Perkins just was not ready for that start, but regardless, it's going to be single file for the first 2 positions, at least as we enter turns 1 and 2.
So these guys fighting hard, or were fighting hard for the 3rd position. Now it's a fight for
Well, we need to go back in the pack here. There is a lot of shuffling going on here mid-pack, almost some 2-3 wide racing going on. David Greenslet, haven't mentioned his name yet at all in this race. He is in the 10th position in an absolute gaggle of cars with Kyle Bingham and Dan LaFoe. Perhaps some pit stops we missed during that commercial break.
A lot of guys hit mid-pack now, trying to fight their way back up front. 2 and 3 wide here at New Hampshire, the Magic Mile.
Here we come, the 11 car of LaFoe, the 88 of Ricky Nadeau. They almost went 3 wide there off of turn number 2, but they settled down to 2x2 formation as we enter turns 3 and 4.
Close racing. Dan LaFoe on the back bumper of the 52 now, looking to move him out of the groove. Maybe he wants a spot by.
The 88, the 52, Dan LaFoe, he's going to choose to bump draft perhaps the 52 of Ronald Narcombe here.
I don't think it's by choice. I think he wants him to move out of the way.
Yeah, or you're in that position of, do I take it 3 wide or do I just kind of help a brother out here? And I think he's just going with that cautious route here as we're only on lap 39.
There was contact between the 52 and the 5. 52 took it way high in that corner, starting to fall back. Almost went 3 wide.
Well, accident. Dan
contact,
LaFoe.
Dan LaFoe. Hard into the inside wall.
Ronald Narcombe also involved in it. We just talked about Dan LaFoe back from his vacation, was on the outside row as for a restart 1 or 2, I believe, cautions ago, but terminal damage is going to be suffered, unfortunately, by him now. Go back on replay here, and again, we'll go to our blimp cam here and we'll get a high-up view of what's going on.
I don't know if the 52 just turned down.
LaFoe was a little bit loose there on the bottom. That wasn't the cause. The 52, yeah, from our perspective on the blimp, he turned down off of 4 right into LaFoe's path. I don't think that...
Not sure what he was thinking, if he didn't think that there was anyone there or what, but that was a very strange incident and a very, very big wreck. Heavy damage to both of those cars. I don't expect to see either one of those guys back out.
LaFoe has not been able to catch a break. He did have one good run at Irwindale. I believe he finished 2nd, but he's been, in the races he's been in, he's had a lot of issue. Dynamite Dan LaFoe in the 11 is not going to be happy about that. But as we come around here, coming around turn 4, I don't see any takers down pit road. So Matthew Kimball, to my knowledge, actually I can confirm on my stat sheet here, he has not come down pit lane yet. Again, pit road is not a requirement. No one is forced to pit, but it is an option. And so far he's not chose it. Again, English.
English is hard. So Ronald Narcombe given a NEOL penalty for that wreck, although I do not expect to see him back out on the racetrack anytime soon.
Yeah, as it stands right now, we have 20 of the 27 guys who started this race, 26 actually, I believe. 27 guys started this race. We still have 23 on track right now, I believe. So still a lot of people in this race. A couple cars 2 laps down. Again, Narcombe and Defoe we don't expect to see, so they'll likely retire. And David Elliott in the 43, we'll call him Mr. Upside Down today. He's not yet retired from this race. He may be trying to fix that damage to get back out there. I don't think that'll be the nickname he'll choose to keep, but we'll just use that for this race. Let's pull somebody in the booth. Do you think that's a good idea, Marina?
Yeah, why not?
Let's bring Mr. James Curl into the booth here. James Curl, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So we saw you, obviously the couple races you've been in, absolute dominating fashion. I've yet to see you be up front here, although you were running up there before. So how's this race going for you so far?
It's going all right. We've had a few cautions, and I had to dodge a few wrecks there. It's just really kind of difficult to pass here. I'm having to make some really bonehead moves, like making it 3 wide and stuff like that to get around people. But I got to get to the front, so we got about 20 laps or 30 laps to go, and we go green. So hopefully we can get up there and contend for the lead again. I kind of want to make it 3 for 3 for my races. So see what happens.
Yeah. One quick question before we let you go back. How is the tire wear? Is tire wear any factor whatsoever in this race, or is it mainly just about the draft and positioning?
I feel the reason we decided to pit there is I felt the car getting tight. So if we wouldn't have had a caution come out that quick back to back, we wouldn't have ever pitted. But I felt the car was getting tight, and when I found out who was in the caution with Minotto, who was running 2nd, I figured it'd be a good time to pit, so we weren't having to worry about him. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
10-4, brother. Taking green flag, so we'll let you go. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Some interesting insight there. So perhaps tire wear may come into effect later on in this race if it's tightening the cars up. So here we come for the 5th or 6th restart of this race so far. Matthew Kimball, John Perkins to the outside, pace car, waiting for that hard left turn yet again. There it is. And we'll wait for him to get on the pedal. There he goes. A lot better restart that time for the 33, but still is not able to stay side by side with Kimball as we enter turns 1 and 2.
for the third position there, side by side and fighting hard, Corey, and I imagine it's not much better in the mid-pack once again.
Someone we have not talked about that is in the top 3 now, Connor Blaze in the number 57 machine. He's up here now in contention. Let's see if he can do anything with these top 2.
These guys, oh, contact, mid-pack, almost a wreck. They're
halfway.
Huge wreck down the front straightaway. I think we got one upside down.
We have a couple upside down. Oh my goodness, I see the, I cannot see right now the 01 Rodney Huntoon upside down. Again, that is going to take out a whole bunch of them.
Oh my, lots of fast cars involved in this one, Corey. Huge wreck down the front straightaway.
Again, these guys, the restart is the best place to pass because that is when everyone is bunched together, but that is also going to be the best place to get into an accident, as we've seen. It looks like it may have started with the 7 car. Let's focus on him. The 7 car of Cody LeBlanc, I believe, may have been involved in this.
Yeah, there was contact between LeBlanc and looks like it was the 20 of Greenslet, and started a huge mess. He tried to save it, and there's contact between Greenslet and the 20, and then the 18 car as well, and it collected LeBlanc in that whole mess.
David Greenslet, we remember, is your points leader, and we had just talked earlier about him having an amazing points lead, so he is, I see, rolling back on track now. He made a pit stop, but he is coming back on track now. Let's try to get a little bit of a view of his car to see what kind of damage he has sustained. It actually looks like it's in pretty good shape.
So Cody LeBlanc pulls it to the hauler, and he's going to be done for the night. He retired. So, yeah, that was a lot of the cars involved in that one, and another big wreck here at New Hampshire, the Magic Mile.
So let's, who else can we bring in here? We have, since we've had a lot of time to kill, we can bring a lot of guys into the booth today with us. Might as well bring in your leader. Brandon, you want to talk to Matthew Kimball?
Sure thing, if I can find him.
He's in
there he is.
road.
Matthew Kimball, got a copy?
Yes, sir. There's just a lot of talking going on, so it's hard to hear. But yeah, I got you.
So you're up front leading this thing. You know, what's it like up there? You know, what are you seeing in your rear view?
Right now I'm worried about James. He got 4 fresh tires on. I know he's gonna get to me. I don't know. Depends what these caution laps are gonna do, but I'm not gonna pit this race. I'm gonna stay out this whole time. The last couple races I've been up front pitted, and it's bit me. So I'm gonna stay out this whole time and let's see what we can do.
All right. So you know, considering you've stayed out, what are your tires like from the beginning of the race to now? How big of a difference is it?
Not a big difference at all, actually. It's still feels the same, a little tight off, but I mean, I can hold these guys behind me off right now, but once James gets to me, it's gonna be hard. But if he passes me, hopefully we can stay in his draft.
All right. Well, you guys are about to take the green, so good luck.
Yes, thank you.
That was the number 50, your current leader, Matthew Kimball.
Yeah, interesting where I believe it was, who was the last guy? We talked to James Curl, said he felt he was getting significantly tighter, and Kimball says he's only marginally tighter, so maybe that's just down to setup or driving style, but he expects to have the 51 in his mirror for the lead battling here soon, so we will see that as we're about to take 25 laps to go. Brandon.
Pace car about ready to pull off here, and here it goes. Kimball on the loud pedal, green flag back in the air here at the Magic Mile. Way better restart from the 33 car that time.
But Kimball was able to get into the third position there. Oh, not quite. Actually, not Kimball. Excuse me, Curl. He was able to clear third, but now he has the 4 car of Jeff Gallup to his inside.
Cruz and James Curl looking at third place right now.
but at the same time, Curl got a good draft off the 50 down the back straightaway and almost was in position to take the second position here. He has a little bit of a wheel to the outside, but he's going to be right in the draft, and I think he's going to make a move here in turns 1 and 2 for second.
Battle for second place right now. Will he take it side by side? He's got to defend that bottom line. Here comes the 4 car, someone we haven't seen up front all night.
Here comes the 51 to the inside of the 33. We're down the back straightaway. I see some 3 wide racing going on in the back, but we'll check on that later. But we're side by side for second here, and we're going to be looks like it'd be a drag race to the start finish line.
They're side by side coming on the front straightaway. The advantage goes to the 51 across the line. James Curl on 4 fresh tires. A little bit of an advantage over the rest of these guys. He goes to slide up in front of the 33. Almost didn't work.
So that is the sight that the 50 did not want to see. He did not want to see the 51 in his mirror this early. He thought perhaps it'd be later on, but he's going to have to battle for 23 laps here for this win.
So 51 looks to the inside of the 50. They're side by side for the lead across the line.
It looks like he may only have a wheel, but he's going to dive into the flat there and almost do a little bit of a slide job. But with that little bit more banking in the second lane, I believe the 50 is going to get that run on exit and keep it side by side down the back straight.
Here they go into turns number 3 and 4 now. Still side by side. Kibble putting up a fight. Advantage goes to the 51. Kibble slides up the racetrack.
And the Conqueror, James Curl, perhaps that's his nickname. He takes the lead yet again, but I don't think Kimball's going down without a fight. No, he's not. It looks like we're going to be side by side into 1. Is he going to be able to sneak the nose in there with those older tires? Yes, he is.
Coming down on a turn number 2, down the back straightaway. They're side by side once again. This time Kibble on the inside. Give it the advantage again to James Curl.
But worth noting is when you're side by side, the guy in third, he's getting the draft off the leader. Perkins got the draft off the 51 on the upper lane down the straightaway, and that took him from third to now almost in position to clear number 2.
Yeah, side by side for the second position now, going into turns number 3 and 4. Gives second place to the 33 of John Perkins.
John Perkins, as you said, is in second position. He has also not pitted in this race, so interesting to see if he'll be able to contend with those newer tires of Curl.
He's looking for the lead. John Perkins in the 33, a face that we've seen on front pretty much this whole race, but hasn't been able to get to the leader. Now he's there in his draft. What can he do with it is the real question. And
we have 20 laps to go here, folks, at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Here on Primetime TV, it's the Magic Miles 75 here for the Northeast Racers, the Great American Modified Tour. We come down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4, only a 10th separating our leaders here. And it looks like the 33 tries to take it a little bit lower to try to cut that gap, and it looks like it's working. He's going to have that draft on the straightaway and perhaps make a move into turn 1.
Almost had a wheel on him coming out of the turn 4. Now down into turn number 1. Can he make anything happen this time? Exciting battle for the lead here in the Great American Modified Tour from Northeast Racers. I expect this to go all the way to the end, Corey. How about you?
I do as well. English, Corey. That's going to be my new saying, painted on my next car. As we go back in the pack here, Brian Hacker is trying to make position for number 6 on Jeff Gallup here. We also have the 18, Brian Town, in a battle here. That's a 3-way battle for the 6th position, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And here he comes, Brian Hacker going to the inside. He's going to be to the inside of the 4, driving in deep. Pushes the 4 up the track a little bit. Looks like he may have got a little loose there on the inside there, side by side for that position on the back straightaway.
Yeah, 5 car still got a wheel on him.
The 4.
Yeah, 4. Jeff Gallup got into the wall just a little bit there, Corey.
The safer barrier kind of juts out there on the entrance of the turns. That may have thrown him off just a little bit, and that battle is still side by side here for the 6th position, I believe, yes.
Yeah, these guys in the modifieds not exactly used to having safer barriers around the track.
One thing worth noting, and I was trying to talk about it earlier in this race, and I did not get the opportunity to do so. New Hampshire Motor Speedway is a variably banked track, even though you may not think so. It is 9 degrees banked from the second groove to the wall, but the first lane, the one with the yellow line, is completely flat, if anything, off camber. So if you do get down there on that first lane, it is extremely hard to do anything with it.
There was a brief battle for second place, Corey, but it quickly ended as Perkins defended that position. Oh, not quite yet. They're side by side once again down the back straightaway going into turns 3 and 4.
That they are. These two drivers, but you have to remember, are on older tires. James Curl made a pit stop, I believe, on around lap 30-ish, perhaps. So he has the freshest tires and is pulling away. These drivers are on their first set of tires, the 33 and the 50R.
Yeah, those guys, I don't think planning to pit throughout this whole race. They want to try to keep their track position. The 33 didn't pit, did he, Corey?
Based on my stat sheet, he has not pitted, neither has the 50.
So right now, tires are technically prevailing with James Curl leading this thing, but these guys able to defend at least podium positions up front with no tires.
Now, one thing, Brandon, we have to remember, and we'll go back to the Monster Energy Cup race for those watching this live. We went green for quite a while. We thought the race was in order, and what happened at the end of caution absolutely, completely affected the outcome of that race. Do you think the yellow flag is done being waved today?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that it's happened if it does, Corey, so, you know, something to watch for at least.
As we look for position number 5 and 4 right here, Kyle Bingham in the 77 trying to hold off the 31 of Brad Carpenter. And that is a draft battle there going on. Bingham been in the top 5 the majority of the day. He has, I believe, let's go on the graphic here, he has led a lap here. So a good day for Kyle Bingham in the 77, but here comes the battle for second yet again, Perkins and Kimball.
Kimball getting a little bit more aggressive. He was right on the rear bumper of the 33 car in that last corner, Corey, right before they went too wide.
I mean, it's kind of really hard to make lap times and actually make any good out of them with the draft, but let's just go here. Look at it. Last time by, 31.24 for Perkins, a 31.23 for Kimball, so absolutely no difference there in laps, but let's just reference the leader here. Curl, a 31.11 versus that 31.24. A little over a tenth faster is James Curl.
It looks to me like these two are trying to draft each other and try to gain a little bit of speed, Corey. One thing that these SK drivers will do here in New Hampshire, not looking to pass, from my point of view and my camera angles, it looks like Kimball just wants to get up to James Curl.
But one thing on the stat sheet here is even doing so, they're still losing a tenth a lap to James Curl. So it's going to take a caution flag and some strategy here for really anything to happen.
Yeah, fresh tires prevailing, it seems, and of course a really fast James Curl.
Upside out, David Elliott in the number 43 machine goes yet another lap down, but we will give him credit. David Elliott in the 43 is 17 laps down, but still trying to finish this race for points.
Yeah, he was twice upside down tonight, and that modified is still running. Really impressive.
And he's getting out of the way. Respectfully, leaders, there's 10 to go. He has nothing to gain. Just here to finish out, perhaps gain a position or two via attrition. But the Conqueror, I think I'm going to stick with that. You like that, Brandon? The Conqueror, James Curl here.
I do like that one. Yeah.
Pulling away here, so if he does win this race or is on the podium, we'll have to let him know and see how he likes that nickname. But he's 3/4 of a second ahead here down the back straightaway, has evaded the draft entirely. So again, we're 9 to go. I'd say any caution after lap 5 to go is probably going to end this race. So if a caution comes out, it's going to happen pretty quick.
Yeah. Folks, iRacing does not have any sort of green-white checkers
or overtime line.
Or overtime, right?
For Kyle Larson fans.
So, you know, if a caution comes out within the last 5 laps, the race is over with. The iRacing standards here, they have not added green-white checkers to the service. So, some say it's downfall, some say, you know, why would they add green-white checkers? It just ruins the end of the race. But, you know, it is what it is. We don't have them right now. So if this thing were to go yellow with 5 to go, it would be over.
Yeah, some just want it for cleaner racing. Some want it for realism, but some don't want it for cleaner racing. But I say go for it. But here we come. Someone we have not talked to much today is the points leader, David Greenslet, in the 13th position. He is trying to take 12th away from Ricky Nadeau.
Oh,
And the caution! Caution on the
Oh.
speedway.
And the 4 car got hit hard in the driver's side door.
And in the words I want to say of Larry McReynolds on Fox Broadcast, this changes everything.
Absolutely it does. You had 2 cars nearly lose it there up towards the front, and then the 3rd car, the 4 car of Jeff Gallup,
Looks
was
like
the one that ended up spinning.
Solo spin and then got hit hard by, I believe it was the, was it the 52? No, it wasn't. It was a green and black car. But we have to watch 59. Here as we come off turn 4. Is anybody gonna pit? Does anybody you can't. You really can't. Even though the 33 and the 50 do have a set of tires. I don't see any takers really. So
there wouldn't be enough time to make up.
Unless everybody, unless everybody came in, it was not going to be. Wasn't going to be anything that was going to work. So maybe just cooling these tires off just that little bit. Maybe that'll be enough to make one last run at it, or maybe just one really good restart.
So Conqueror James Curl out front once again. And as we know, he has some really fast race equipment under him every week, Corey.
Yeah, I believe he is on Oval Technologies team, and along with Dan LaFoe and David Greenslet, whoever the setup guru is on that team does a really good job, and he obviously does the best job driving it because he is 4 laps away from going 3 for 3. He's run the 4 races, he's been in 3, and he may win all 3 of them.
Expecting to get a 1-lap shootout here at the Magic Mile. It should get interesting, Corey.
That it should, but do you really think, even with this this potential reset, that anybody has anything for Curl?
No, I honestly don't, unless they can get to his back bumper with the draft and move him out of the way. I think he's going to end up pulling away again on this final restart.
I guess time will tell. But we'll take this quick opportunity to go to another quick commercial break. We will be right back for the restart and the exciting finish.
Green flag, let's get it, let's go! Let's get ourselves underway. Mark Day with a save of a magnificent proportion. Looks to the inside, and maybe there's a chance. A bit of a slide then, little bit of a short.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, these guys ready to go back green for the final restart of the night. Looks like maybe a 2-lap shootout here, a green-white checker.
That it is, and let's see if anybody can throw off the 51's perfect streak. Here we are, green flag is out. The 33 is trying to get in that draft there and clear the 50, because if he has any chance to win, he cannot battle side by side.
And they're looking to go 3 wide for the 2nd position. Not quite gonna get to that level, Corey, but they got really close, and James Curl just pulling away from these guys now.
It's going to be a battle for the podium, but not for the top, it looks like here, as we enter turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. Coming to the white flag is the Conqueror, James Curl here, with a 4/10-second lead, but we're going to watch the battle for second, because that's where the money is right now. Kimball and Perkins.
Matthew Kimball drafting off of the 33 of Perkins right now. and looking to at least get into the podium.
The white flag, sponsored by Cruz Custom Graphics, as we come onto the back straightaway here. James Curl out to a half-second lead. This race will finish under green flag conditions. He comes through 3 and 4, going for the turkey, going for the three-time winner. Perfect season so far. James Curl comes off turn 4 with the perfect season, wins his 3rd race out of 3 here at the Magic Mile. 2nd position goes to John Perkins, 3rd to Matthew Kimball, who had a very good battle to end this race and for the majority of it.
That was a good race all around, I'd say. Wow.
Yeah, so the conqueror, James Curl, he hasn't run all 4 races, but in the 3 he has run, he has been in victory circle all 3 times. So we congratulate James Curl on his 3rd win out of 4 races in the Northeast Racers. And we will take you to a quick commercial, and then we will bring you interviews with your top 3. So stick with us here on Prime Time.
Green flag, let's get it, let's go! Let's get ourselves on the way. Mark Day with a save of a magnificent proportion. Looks to the inside, and maybe there's a chance. A bit of a slide then, little bit of a shot to the back bumper, and he continues to look.
And we're back here on Primetime Racing TV, where we're going to take your top 3 here. Start with number 3, the 50, of Matthew Kimball. Let's drag him in here.
Matthew Kimball, you got a copy.
Yep.
So you end up on podium, still 3rd position. How was your car there at the end?
That's still good. It was a little tight, but I'll take it. When I was getting on the apron, it was loose, but I definitely had the speed to stay with James and contend with him. Just I couldn't get by the 33. Every time I got under him, I'd get tight off, so I didn't get to run. And every time I'd get under him, he'd beat me off the corner. So maybe if I had a better restart at the end, I could have made something happen. But I guess we're gonna have to take what happened.
Well, we saw you drafting the 33 of Perkins hardcore there towards the end. Do you think you could make up any ground by doing that on James Curl?
Well, like before that caution came in at the end, we were catching him a little. We were like 1.2 seconds behind him, or 1.3, then we get to 0.9. But I think he still would have got it if there was no caution. But I was working with John. I said on the radio I wasn't gonna try to pass him until lap 70-ish. But then the caution came out. I was trying to get around him, but I was just gonna stick with him, try to catch James. But when the caution came out, it changed everything.
All right. Well, is there anyone that you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone from the league, Dave Greens, James Curl, Dan LaFoe, Kyle Bingham. They all won the league. It's turning out really good. I mean, today's been our highest car count at 27, and it wasn't too bad of a wreck fest. So I think overall it was a good day.
All right. Well, disappointed sounded Matthew Kimball, but congratulations on your podium.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and now let's bring in John Perkins, our second place finisher. John Perkins, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, so we saw you battling with Kimball in the 50 for a good portion of that race, given a little bit of a shot to the 51, but didn't look like you guys had anything for him. So just kind of talk about how your race went overall.
We had a pretty good setup for the long run. I knew James was coming. He's a very good driver. He had those fresh tires, so I knew it was going to be hard to hold him off. And had some really good hard laps there with Matthew Kimball. Good racing. But yeah, without those fresh tires, we weren't going to beat James there. He had it under control.
Was there almost a level of frustration during the race of not really being able to pass and not being able to clear with the draft being as strong as it was?
Very much so. It was almost, you just kind of felt a little bit helpless.
And then talk a little bit about, excuse me, sorry about that. Talk a little bit about how, with all the cautions, was there any real change of strategy at any point with all the yellows, or were you kind of set and knew what you were going to do from the start?
No, we had a caution, one of those cautions somewhere around lap 35 to 40, somewhere along in there. And I had made my mind up then and there that the car was still running good. I anticipated we were going to have several more cautions, so I just took a chance. And when I saw James and those guys go in, I was like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Yeah, you know that feeling when you kind of make your bed and you're kind of stuck with it, whether you like it or not. But either way, second place finish. We haven't seen you in the league on our broadcast so far. Are you going to be more of a full-time member in this league going forth?
Yeah, we might. I joined up last week for the tour mods, so hopefully you guys get to broadcast some of that stuff. We'll be running Gateway tomorrow. I'm more into the tour mods than I am the SKs, but when I'm off and available, I will certainly hop in here. It seems to be pretty fun.
10-4, brother. Anyone you want to give a shout-out to on air while we have you?
Sure thing. I'd like to thank all my teammates for Team Wolfpack and my crew chief, Mark Logan. He's done a heck of a job setting this stuff up for us, and Ed Clark. And a new teammate on board this week is Connor Blaze.
All right, 10-4, John. Congrats on your second, and we hope to catch you next week and around in this league.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It was fun. Thanks for doing this, guys.
No problem. And here we come. Let's bring in James Curl. James Curl, you got a copy?
I do.
All right, so you asked us last week, I don't know if you remember, you said you wanted a nickname, and we have one for you. You ready for it?
Uh-oh. Yes, sir.
The Conqueror James Curl.
I'll take it. Yeah, I like that.
With your third win in 3 races that you've had so far, obviously it looked like it came down to a strategy call there from the majority of the guys we've talked to. So was it those 4 tires at the end, or do you think you may have had just something in the setup that might have been better either way?
Well, first off, I want to apologize for my bird in the background. Yeah, I think honestly that it was the tires that did it for me. We were tight, and I made an adjustment under the pit stops, and then we were loose at the end of the run. It wasn't enough. The run on that bottom there got us really, really loose. But I mean, I think it was honestly just the tires for the first time so far this season. It was just the strategy that kind of got us the win. Like I was saying earlier when you pulled me, I really wasn't wanting to pit because of track position. We had 25, 26 cars start the race, and I had to start way in the back. So after coming all the way to the front, I was kind of hesitant to mire myself back. But when we pitted, a lot of the cars came with us, and that helped a lot. So that kind of played into our hands, and we were able to get back to the front.
Yeah, 10-4, brother. So that your third win in 4 races, and who knows, if you were able to make the last race, you might be a perfect 4 for 4. And just as a reference for the championship, you may have gained about 15 points. David Greenslet only finished 11th today. So do you think, even with that missed race, that you might be able to still come back and get this title?
Most definitely. I think that if I continue to run up front and just get solid finishes, even if it's not a win, just top 3s, top 5s, anything like that, it's going to be really beneficial to us. I think we have 7 races left. I think it's 10 or 11 races. So I think we're definitely in a good position to be able to come and get the championship, especially with how my teammate David finished this race. So just first, before we do anything else, I just want to thank David, Dan, Tyler Severa, Roger Severa, OJ Dompierre, everybody who's on our team that works with us today. We kind of worked on the setup quite a bit. This is a track most of us don't race the SKs at because they don't really go there in any official series. So it took a lot of work from everybody to even get setups good enough to run close as we all were today. So.
Yeah, 10-4, brother. Well, you took the question out. You took the answer out of my mouth there. I was going to ask you what to think, but you already did that. So, again, congrats on your 3rd win of the season, and we will catch you next week at Phoenix.
Thank you. I'll be there.
All right, Brandon. So, do you want to give our final results here before we go off air here today at New Hampshire?
All right, so coming home with the victory, Corey, is James Curl. Finishing 2nd is John Perkins. 3rd, Matthew Kimball. 4th, Brian Hacker. 5th, Kyle Bingham. 6th, Connor Blaze. 7th, Brad Carpenter. 8th, Brian Town. 9th, Ricky Nardo. And 10th, Kyle Willis. Corey?
And 11th, David Greenslet. 12th, Devin Guy. 13th, Graham Narcom, followed up by Jeff Gallup. Bruce Wright III. Dynamite Dan LaFoe, Byron Bartlett, Zach Olney, David Elliott, and Rodney Hunt-Toon. And given the field, we still have more. Brandon.
Cody LeBlanc finishing behind him. John Minato, Ronald Narcom, Logan Powers, Evan Hallstorm, Evan Black, and Ed Clark rounding out the field.
So again, here on Prime Time, we do apologize for the issues we had with the beginning of the broadcast, but we hope you enjoyed the show. If you haven't done so already, like or subscribe for our channel. Helps us out a lot. We will be bringing more leaks to you, more broadcasts here, and we'd love to have you here in chat and on the broadcast with us. So again, I'm Corey Silva.
I'm Brandon Kreutz.
And we will catch you next week with the Northeast Racers at Phoenix. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good one.